Most people spend a lifetime searching outside themselves for proof that their dreams are real. They scan their bank accounts, their relationships, the shifting details of circumstance, hoping for evidence that something greater is on its way. But the universe speaks in a different language. Every pause, every door that refused to open, every stretch of silence you thought was emptiness, was not rejection, it was alignment. It was the hidden choreography of preparation. You've arrived at what scientists call the collapse point, the instant when infinite potential gathers itself into one chosen form. Every meditation you've breathed through, every vision you've carried in the quiet, every time you chose faith when fear was louder, has led you to this precise point in time. You are standing at the horizon of your own becoming. Just as particles wait in every possible state until observed, your dreams too have been waiting, resting in superposition until consciousness claims them, and now that claiming moment is drawing near. As inevitable as the rising sun, the unseen is preparing to take shape before your very eyes. But this is where so many hearts falter, standing at the very doorway of everything they've asked for. Instead of opening, they contract. They clutch tighter. They scan their phones for proof, refreshing screens as if the universe speaks through notifications. Yet this restless grasping is the very motion that pushes the miracle away. In truth, manifestation in its purest stage calls for something softer, something that feels almost impossible: complete surrender. Think of the seed resting in darkness. It does not question its destiny, nor demand progress updates. It simply trusts the same intelligence that breathes through galaxies, that conducts the hidden dance of atoms. This is the current calling you now. The irony, the cosmic play, is that all you've been chasing has been running toward you with the same longing. While you wondered if your prayers were heard, the universe was weaving synchronicities like threads in a grand tapestry, aligning every note for your arrival. And here lies the shift. Release is not abandoning your dream. It is unclasping your grip on how it should appear. When you stop insisting on one narrow form, you make space for the infinite to surprise you with something your mind alone could never have imagined. This is where the mystery of entanglement becomes your ally. Physics tells us that when two particles are bound, distance no longer separates them. One shift here is mirrored there, instantly across any expanse of space and time. The same is true of you and your desire. The moment you release your grip, the unseen threads connecting you to your dream begin to hum, not with wanting, but with readiness to receive. Wanting energy repels. It comes from lack, from the belief that you are still empty. Receiving energy magnetizes. It flows from abundance, from the knowing that in the quantum field, what is yours already exists, waiting for the veil to lift into form. Pause here. Breathe into this truth. You are not chasing the universe. You are letting the universe embrace you. This shift reshapes your entire signal. No longer broadcasting need, you become the broadcast of readiness. And readiness is the frequency that collapses possibility into reality. Of course, the mind resists. It whispers reasons why your case is different, why your time has not come, why hope should be abandoned. But this resistance is not the enemy. It is the final guardian at the threshold, testing whether you are willing to cross. Every myth, every hero's tale includes this trial, the hardest test just before the treasure is revealed. Through disappointment, through silence, through the moments you kept faith when evidence was absent, you have been cultivating strength. That strength is about to yield more than you dare to imagine. For the universe moves on divine rhythm, not human clocks. What you call delay is orchestration. While you waited, threads were being woven, people moved into place, opportunities ripened in silence. The whole field has been rearranging itself for your highest good. And this is why surrender feels like both loss and liberation. You are not merely releasing outcomes. You are relinquishing the illusion that you are ever in control. You are entering into sacred partnership with the very force that keeps your heart beating, that lengthens your breath in sleep, that grows life from nothing without you ever asking how. Here is a practice that changes everything. Instead of picturing what you want, begin to imagine yourself as the one who naturally receives it. See yourself moving through each day with the quiet confidence of someone already held by the universe. Feel the ease of being a vessel where blessings arrive as naturally as breath. Not because you are chosen above others, but because you are aligned with the current of life. This is the shift that separates those who struggle from the few who flow. Many carry the identity of someone still trying to manifest, but you are being invited into a deeper identity, the one who effortlessly attracts, because their frequency already matches the frequency of receiving. Take a moment right here to let your body declare, I am ready to receive what is already mine. Whisper it, write it, breathe it, not casually, but as a vow to the field that surrounds you. Feel it settle into your bones. This is how you step out of the vibration of longing and into the energy of arrival. When you embody this frequency, synchronicities begin to gather like sparks of light. The right book appears as if placed in your path. A chance encounter shifts the direction of your life. An opportunity unfolds that feels too miraculous to be planned. Yet it is simply the universe, finally free to deliver what it has been holding for you all along. And here is a truth rarely spoken. Just before the breakthrough, it often looks as if nothing is happening, but the silence is sacred. The stillness is gestation. Like the hush before birth, the pause is the universe taking a long inhale before breathing miracles into your world. Most people mistake this pause for failure and abandon their path, but you will not. Energy is measurable, and frequency is the language of creation. Gratitude hums at one vibration, love at another, joy at yet another. Fear and doubt sink low. When you choose higher states consciously, you are tuning yourself to the wavelength where your desires are already playing. This is not metaphor, it is physics. Your thoughts broadcast signals. When those signals align with your dreams, they amplify one another until reality bends. Every emotion you allow is either weaving coherence or scattering static. This is why mindfulness matters. You are not required to be positive every second. You are invited to be aware of what you are broadcasting, aware of the energies you are choosing to magnify. Resistance will appear, often disguised. It may come as busyness that steals your presence, as people who drain your light, as circumstances that test your faith. Do not mistake it for sabotage. It is simply the fading echo of your old reality, making one last attempt to hold you back. The way through is not to fight it, nor to feed it. Simply acknowledge it as clouds drifting across the sky, temporary passing, insubstantial. Your task is to remain anchored in the frequency you have chosen, no matter what weather swirls through. From that state, action begins to flow through you, not forced but inspired, not from impatience, but from alignment. You'll notice yourself in the right place at the right time without effort. Words will arise in conversations that open doors you didn't even know were there. Resources will appear like perfectly timed gifts. The difference is unmistakable. Forced action weighs heavy, creates strain, depletes your spirit. Inspired action feels like being carried by a river, energizing, natural, effortless. It is the flow of life moving through you, and all you must do is allow yourself to be guided downstream. If these words are stirring something deep in your bones, if a quiet voice within you is whispering their truth, then this is your invitation, not simply to subscribe to a channel, but to attune yourself to a frequency of living where miracles flow like breath and synchronicities weave themselves into the fabric of your days. Choosing this frequency is a sacred commitment to yourself, a vow to remain open to the wavelength where magic is natural and timing itself becomes your greatest ally. Every wisdom tradition speaks of divine timing because it is not a philosophy, it is law. Seeds do not burst forth the instant they are placed in soil. Babies are not born the moment they are conceived. Your dreams, too, are not meant to appear at the instant they are imagined. They ripen in seasons of alignment, arriving with precision for maximum impact and minimum resistance. Delay is not rejection. Delay is incubation, the loving pause in which unseen forces arrange the stage for the most luminous unfolding. What feels like silence from the universe is, in truth, its deepest love, preparing to give you something far more radiant than what you thought to ask for. To trust this orchestration, even when you cannot glimpse the full design, is to step into partnership with a higher intelligence. And in that trust, appreciation becomes an amplifier. Gratitude is not a strategy to manipulate more into your hands. It is recognition, a quiet bow to an abundant universe that is already providing ceaselessly. When your appreciation shifts from wanting more to honoring what is, your energy transforms. You stop seeing yourself as someone striving to earn abundance and begin to recognize yourself as someone who naturally receives it. Because this universe is generous by nature. And when you remember this, visualization becomes effortless. It is no longer an act of forcing, but of recalling what already exists in the quantum field. Your desires are not distant possibilities hovering in some future. They are present realities suspended in superposition, waiting for your consciousness to welcome them into form. You do not visualize to convince the universe. You visualize to remember what is already yours. Feel into your desired reality as though it is not a hope to be reached, but a doorway you are simply remembering how to walk through. This remembrance brings coherence between who you are now and the vastness of who you are becoming. Embodiment anchors this truth. Your desires are not abstract. They carry an energetic signature longing to move through your physical being. When you allow your body to express the energy of your expanded identity, you align thought, feeling, and form. This does not require ritual or performance. It requires permission. Walk as one who already receives with ease. Sit as one who trusts the intelligence of the cosmos. Breathe as one whose dreams are not distant but inevitable. And hear all these teachings crystallize into living magic. You are being invited to step into a new identity in this very moment. Not later when the proof arrives. Not someday when conditions feel ready. Now, the version of you who receives with grace is not a future self. It is a present choice. Each moment you choose to embody that receiving identity, the threads of quantum entanglement between your current life and your desired life tighten and sing. Each time you think, feel, and act from that elevated state, you rewire your very nervous system to expect miracles instead of struggle. This is the threshold where manifestation shifts from effort to alignment. Most people try to drag their dreams down to match their present limitations. You are being called higher, to rise into the level of being where your dreams already reside. Take a breath, and if you wish, name the word that captures the essence of who you are becoming. Not the echoes of who you've been, nor the shadows of who you hope to be, but the energy you choose to embody right now. Let this word ripple into the quantum field as your declaration, your frequency, your chosen song. And know this, you do not walk alone. Every soul who steps into receiving energy adds to the collective field, making it easier for others to do the same. Your transformation is personal, but never just for you. You are part of the awakening unfolding across this planet, a movement of humanity learning to co-create with the intelligence that breathes us all. Your breakthrough becomes a beacon for others, a signal that a new way of being is possible. This is why timing is sacred. You are not only manifesting your desires, you are participating in an evolutionary leap. Your journey is a thread woven into the greater tapestry of consciousness, and the light you embody becomes part of the rising dawn. What we have touched here today is but the beginning. Beyond this glimpse lies a deeper framework, 9 master frequencies that map the ways consciousness shapes reality itself. In my complete guide, Beyond the Frequencies, a quantum guide to consciousness mastery, I walk step by step through the practices that transform manifestation from unconscious striving into radiant being. For those ready to fully embrace this path, the gateway is waiting. As we arrive at the close of this moment together, I want to remind you of this truth. Everything you've been searching for has been searching for you. Every whispered prayer, every dream held close to your heart, every time you chose faith instead of fear, has been leading you to this moment of remembrance. You are not separate from what you desire. You never have been. What looks like distance is not distance at all. It is frequency. And frequency can shift in an instant through the sacred power of conscious choice. That power has always been within you. The only question is your willingness to use it now. So I invite you not only to subscribe as a way to stay connected, but to remain coherent with this frequency of conscious creation. The more of us who live from the knowing that we are co-creators with universal intelligence, the more the world mirrors that truth back to us through miracles, synchronicities, and manifestations that flow with ease. And yet, let us go deeper into the very mechanics of what is stirring within your field. In quantum physics, there exists a phenomenon known as quantum tunneling, where particles move through barriers that, according to classical laws, should be impenetrable. In the same way, your consciousness is preparing to tunnel through the seeming walls of your limitations. One moment they feel unbreakable, and in the next you find yourself on the other side, free, expansive, unbound. This is why breakthroughs so often feel sudden, though they have been building quietly for years. It is not that you fought your way past the pattern, it is that your consciousness shifted into a parallel reality, where those old constraints never existed. And here is the extraordinary truth. The version of you beyond limitation does not need to be created. It already exists. All possible versions of you exist in the quantum field. The struggling self, the abundant self, the confident self, the self already living your dream life. They are all equally real, equally present, equally available. Transformation, then, is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering which version of yourself you choose to inhabit with your awareness. Consider this. Right now, there is a version of you living in ease, grace, and natural abundance. This is not fantasy. This is quantum law. In the infinite field of possibility, every potential configuration of your life exists, waiting for your observation to call it into form. The reason these words find you now is because the veils between these parallel versions of yourself are dissolving. The walls between timelines are thinning, preparing you for a conscious shift into alignment with your chosen reality. This is not metaphor. It is the very way reality functions at the quantum level. And here is where the mystery deepens. The version of you already living your desired reality has been reaching back through time, sending signals into your present. The synchronicities you've noticed, the intuitive nudges that arrived out of nowhere, the sudden clarity of direction, all of these have been transmissions from your future self guiding you home. Every gut feeling that defied logic, every inner pull toward a choice that made no sense to the mind was navigation from the self who has already walked this path. Now those signals are intensifying. What you feel as the sense that something big is about to shift is actually your consciousness beginning to phase lock with your chosen timeline. In physics, phase locking happens when two oscillating systems synchronize their frequencies. Your current state is beginning to harmonize with the vibration of your desired reality. This process brings about what scientists call a phase transition, a sudden reorganization into a new state of being. Like water crystallizing into ice, or a caterpillar surrendering into the stillness of the cocoon only to emerge as a butterfly. The change seems sudden, but it is the inevitable flowering of energy reaching its critical threshold. You are nearing that threshold now. Every meditation you've practiced, every act of choosing love over fear, every moment you trusted the whisper of intuition over the noise of doubt has been weaving coherence in your field. You are no longer wishing for change. You are undergoing a phase transition into a new dimension of reality. Here is where the science becomes mystical in the most breathtaking way. When systems undergo phase transitions, they often reveal what scientists call emergence, the sudden appearance of properties that were never present in the individual parts. These emergent qualities cannot be predicted, no matter how much you study the components. They arise spontaneously when complexity crosses a threshold. And you, right now, are standing at the edge of your own emergence. Hidden capacities will reveal themselves as if they were always waiting beneath the surface. Abilities you never trained for will simply become natural. Opportunities that once seemed invisible will suddenly stand in plain sight. Relationships aligned with your highest purpose will materialize without effort. Resources will flow to you through channels you could never have designed with your rational mind. This isn't about becoming better at manifestation. It's about stepping into a version of reality where everything you desire is already the natural order. In this new configuration, abundance requires no striving, because abundance is the default flow of energy when resistance has dissolved. If this understanding is shifting how you perceive reality, take a moment to breathe it in. And, if you feel called, share resonance with others. Each act of coherence amplifies the field, helping more people find this frequency exactly when their souls are ready. But let us go deeper into something almost no manifestation teachings address: the role of what physicists call decoherence. In quantum theory, decoherence happens when a coherent superposition collapses into a fixed state. In manifestation, decoherence occurs every time you let external noise collapse your infinite possibility into a limited outcome. Every time you check your bank account to see if abundance has arrived, you are inducing decoherence. Every time you scan your environment for signs that your dream is materializing, you collapse the vast wave of possibility into the narrow lens of current limitation. The very act of seeking proof destabilizes the quantum potential you are nurturing. This is why the final stage before breakthrough always mirrors what mystics call the dark night of the soul, and physicists call the quantum vacuum state. It is the sacred interval where you must hold coherence without feedback, trust the process without external evidence. This is not punishment, it is protection, shielding your manifestation from premature collapse. The vacuum is not empty. It is the richest field of creation, a sea of virtual particles and zero-point energy. When your manifestation enters the vacuum state, it is not that nothing is happening. It is that everything is happening at a level too fundamental for your senses to perceive. This is why spiritual traditions across time have honored the void, the womb of stillness, the sacred emptiness. They intuited what quantum physics now affirms. The vacuum is where infinite potential gestates before it emerges as form. So if you find yourself in stillness, waiting, wondering if anything is shifting, recognize that you are already inside the quantum womb of your creation. This is the most powerful position you can occupy. It requires trust, yes, because the ordinary eye cannot yet see. But beneath perception, reality is rearranging. Consider this: in quantum field theory, virtual particles flicker in and out of existence every moment. They cannot be directly observed, yet their influence is undeniable, measurable by the ripples they leave on other particles. In the same way, your desires currently exist as virtual manifestations. They appear and vanish too quickly for your mind to grasp. But their effects are absolutely real. Every synchronicity, every uncanny opportunity, every flash of joy or clarity, these are the footprints of your virtual creations already shaping your field. And as you move closer to culmination, these virtual manifestations will stabilize. They will linger longer, become denser, more consistent, until suddenly they cross the threshold and collapse into the permanence of physical reality. What looks like instant manifestation is simply the final stabilization of a reality that has been flickering in and out for weeks, perhaps months, waiting for coherence to lock it in place. This understanding changes everything. You are not waiting for something to begin. You are waiting for something already in motion to solidify into form. Your desires are not traveling to you from somewhere else. They are crystallizing out of the very quantum fabric that is already here, interwoven with the life you are living now. Notice when you find yourself entangled in the limits of your current timeline. Then, with gentleness, redirect your awareness. Not by resisting, not by denying what is, but by choosing where your energy belongs. What you place attention on grows in vitality. What you withdraw attention from quietly dissolves. The universe is already orchestrating the collapse of your desired reality into the timeline you stand upon. But it cannot complete this convergence without your participation. Your task is not to force or manufacture. Your only task is to remain coherent with the frequency of what you seek, so that when the collapse occurs, your consciousness is already calibrated to receive it. Imagine a radio. The song is already broadcasting, waiting, yet until you tune the dial, you cannot hear it. In the same way, your desires are already vibrating at a quantum frequency, and your consciousness must align with that signal to call them into form. Every meditation, every moment of presence, every choice of love over fear, trust over doubt, expansion over contraction, these have all been the fine adjustments of your dial. With each choice, you've been refining your receiver to pick up the broadcast of your desired life. And here is the miracle unfolding now. As you take in these words, your brain itself is changing. What science names neuroplasticity is simply consciousness sculpting matter, rewiring the neural pathways that shape your experience of reality. Each realization that stirs within you is not fleeting. It is new architecture forming in your mind, laying the biological foundation for your expanded reality to manifest. Your nervous system, in this moment, is downloading new software. Software attuned to quantum navigation. Software that sees abundance as natural. Software that hears synchronicities as ordinary conversation with the universe. This download will deepen long after these words fade, as your sleeping hours crystallize the patterns being etched within you now. This timing is no accident. Your consciousness had to evolve to a point where it could absorb this transmission without collapse. The fact that these words resonate, that something deep inside you whispers, "Yes, this is true," is proof that you've reached that threshold. What you feel is not just understanding, it is recognition, resonance, a memory of frequencies once native to your being, long forgotten in the descent into physical form. They are your birthright, your original blueprint, the way your soul was designed to flow before it learned to shrink itself into the limitations of consensus reality. This is why it feels so profound, because you are not learning, you are remembering. Your soul has been waiting for this moment of return, for this reactivation of quantum awareness, for this remembrance of the art of creation. And now the static clears. The music of your destiny grows louder. The frequency sharpens into focus. All that remains is surrender. Pure, complete trust that everything you have ever longed for is already alive in the quantum field, waiting for you to tune fully into its song. You haven't just been watching a video, you've been receiving a transmission, a current of frequency that continues to move through your field long after this browser closes. What has reached you here is not just language, but resonance. Each word, each spark of recognition, each subtle awakening you felt. That was your expanded self-signaling. Yes, this is your path. This is your alignment. These are not new teachings. They are ancient remembrances. Truths your soul has always known, now resurfacing in your awareness. And with each return to these remembrances, your quantum coherence strengthens. And as coherence strengthens, the collapse of your chosen timeline accelerates. This is not the slow march of linear time. This is quantum time, where reality reorganizes itself in a single instant of alignment. Consider listening again tomorrow, allowing these codes to weave deeper into your consciousness. Every repetition engraves the neural pathways of your new reality. And if you feel someone close to you is ready to remember, sharing this message doesn't just inspire them, it expands the field for both of you, amplifying manifestation within the collective fabric of consciousness. So trust what is unfolding. Open yourself to what is arriving. Step fully into the frequency of receiving, for that is your natural birthright. The universe is conspiring in ways beyond imagination, and your breakthrough is nearer than your next breath. Welcome to the threshold you've been preparing for. Until we meet again in this infinite field of possibility, remember, you already are what you are seeking. The only task left is to live from that truth, with every choice, every breath, every radiant moment of your existence. And if you're ready to go even deeper, there is another transmission waiting. It reveals the hidden law most never hear. That manifestation works in reverse, the opposite of what you've been taught. Once you understand this counterintuitive process, you will stop forcing reality and begin allowing it to flow effortlessly in your favor. If this resonance spoke to your soul, return to it. Share it with someone who is ready and let the ripple expand. And if you feel called to walk deeper into this quantum field, subscribe and stay connected to these transmissions. Each time you listen, you strengthen your coherence, and together we expand the collective field. Until then, breathe, remember, and embody the truth. You are already everything you've been seeking.